Alright, so what comes to mind when you see that picture?
Peace.
Like, give me like more historical, historical background behind it.
Dr. Martin Luther King. I have a dream speech.
Right,
He was for peace and equality.
right. Well, the picture on the left.
It looks like the Vietnam War to me.
And do you know anything else about it other than that it is the Vietnam War?
I think it was an unnecessary war. A lot of people, Americans, didn't like the fact that soldiers were over there fighting. When they came back, they were scrutinized, and people didn't like the fact that they were over there fighting in that war.
Right. The picture on the right.
I think about the Kennedy assassination when JFK was assassinated, supposedly by I think it was Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah, and that's his wife there in the car with him. And I think at this point, very soon he's about to get assassinated.
It was alright. Right. And this picture.
That is President Nixon. And I'm trying to think of the saying that goes with the fingers. I forget what the saying is. But yeah, that's President Nixon in the 70s. I think he was involved in the Watergate scandal. That's pretty much all I know about Nixon. Don't know too much about him.
Was there? Do you know any anything historical about that time specifically? When he's on that plane or when he's getting off the plane?
Nope.
Alright, the picture on the left.
That looks like it's possibly in Germany. I'm thinking maybe World War II. I'm thinking. I'm not really sure, but it definitely, I get the idea that it's Germany. That looks like that right there was probably saying Hitler. And it just looks like German soldiers to me. And it looks like it was definitely wartime. Maybe 1942. Maybe around that time. 1940s.
The Berlin Wall. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, the Berlin Wall. Oh, two parts of Germany was separated. I think it was West Germany and East Germany. They were it was all Germany, but they were separated by this wall, and this must have been the time when the wall came down. Thus bringing the two areas back together.
The picture on the right.
Looks like the time when AIDS was pretty widespread and a major topic. Seems like it's died out a little bit. People still talking about it, but I think that's the time when it was really big in the I think in the mid '80s, early '90s, when it was a really big topic and all. Again, it was pretty widespread. I think actually it was just more of a hot topic. People were talking about it more. But I think that's during the, I'm thinking it's during the mid to late 80s, early 90s.
Do you know, how it started or what?
How what started?
AIDS or
How it started?
Yeah.
Well, people. I mean, I have my own opinion about how it started. I think it was actually man-made, a man-made virus, but I don't think anybody really knows where it got started.
Have you heard like any?
Yeah, there's been rumors it started in Africa. It started with a monkey. It started. I'm trying to think of the exact place in Africa where they said it began, but supposedly with a monkey, and it ended up coming over here to the United States, and people spread it around. But there's also a theory that this virus was man-made, created to kill off a bunch of people. But again, that's just a theory, kind of like a conspiracy theory. And of course, that's President Ronald Reagan. Reaganomics, I remember that.
What was that
in the
about?
late 80s, early 90s.
What was that?
Ronald Reagan was an actor who became president. He's actually deceased as we speak. He died some years ago. And I believe his wife died shortly afterwards, Nancy Reagan. But he was associated with Reaganomics. Actually, during Reagan's time, we thrived. The United States was thriving at that time. Did pretty good.
Whoa. All right. On the left.
Operation Desert Storm. Yeah, that was another war. Another wartime. Actually, I had just gotten out of the Navy at that time, so that was like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. This Desert Storm was going on. That was, I'm trying to remember, I think that was Iraq still, another Iraq war. I think that was Iraq we were fighting. But again, the time frame was the late 80s, early 90s, because I remember I had just got out of the Navy in 1987, and it was kind of just beginning. I mean, I'm sorry, I got out in 1990. It was just beginning.
All right. Picture on the right.
That's President Bill Clinton. Again, I think at that time that United States was thriving. And again, that was during that 90s era.
Any achievements or anything?
Any achievements of his?
Or
Well, he actually was, towards the end of his term, he was wrapped up in scandal. Sexual scandal with Monica Lewinsky. But again, during Bush's time, America was, I think, on a up. We were thriving at that time. A lot of people, like when Bush was president, again, we were doing really good. And then after him, things started going downhill. After he
left office.
After his term was over, things started kind of going downhill. That's when Mr. Bush took over.
We all know how that is. And that last
and of
picture.
course, that's 9/11. Jet plane flying into the World Trade Center. And that was the 2001. Again, 9/11, September 2001. That was one of the things that actually started the war that we're in right now, the big Iraq war that we're in right now. Terrorist attacks. Major catastrophe.
All right. Thank you. And that should be good.